So, hi everyone, and welcome. We're here with Sandra St. Victor. Sandra, I want to thank you for letting us come to your beautiful home and interview you today.
Of course.
We want to get to know you a little bit more, and this is what I found out about you. I want you to tell me if I'm leaving anything out. So this is part one of your intro.
All right.
Introducing Sandra St. Victor, mezzo-soprano, vocalist, songwriter, teacher, collaborator, mother.
Pole dancer.
Pole dancer.
Just kidding.
I did not find that online.
Just kidding. I keep that on the DM.
I think you've probably done even more than this, but this is what I was able to.
That's, I think, probably the crux of it.
Yeah.
That's the foundation of everything.
Yeah.
So, singer. Did it say singer?
It's a singer,
Did it
yeah.
say singer? Okay.
Vocalist, yeah.
Okay.
Singer.
Yeah, I shouldn't leave that piece out.
Yeah. So, like for real, we were joking about it before, but for real, I was online trying to find out things about you, and like you've done so much, worked with so many people. You are hailed as someone that has contributed so much to music, soul music, but not just soul, funk. Your origins are also, I think you learned a lot about opera and jazz and funk growing up.
Yeah, I went to school for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you went to the Arts Magnet High School?
Yeah, Booker T. Washington in Dallas.
In Dallas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Arts Magnet.
And you're originally from Dallas?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
So you're far away from home.
I'm a little far away. Yeah, I need to take a flight, a plane, or carry a pigeon to get back to visit my peoples nowadays.
Yeah.
But, with internet, you're never far enough, you're never that far. Skype, FaceTime.
Yeah. So you got family over there?
Absolutely. My firstborn lives in Dallas still. My dad's in Dallas. My brother and sister are in Dallas. Nieces and nephews. The fam is there mostly, except for my 104-year-old uncle. He lives in Pittsburgh.
Wow. Okay. So just to round off your intro, I'm just going to read it because it's, like I said,
Okay.
it's a heck of a lot.
Right.
So you're probably, to most people, best known as the singer in the Family Stand and for working with Chaka Khan. Like we said, you're from Dallas. You went to Arts Magnet High School learning about jazz, classical music, opera music. I'm going to skip ahead. You signed with Warner Brothers in 1994. And what I did not know about you, because we met here in Arnhem at the Albert Heijn, of all places.
Yes.
What I did not know about you is that you've also written for many other artists, such as Curtis Mayfield and Prince.
Actually, I did a duet with Curtis Mayfield.
You did a duet with him?
I did a duet with him on
Okay.
his final album.
And it's a song that you wrote.
No, I didn't write that
Didn't
song.
write that song.
Didn't write that song.
Okay.
He just wanted to do a duet.
Nice.
Pretty amazing. That's right.
And then also, I learned that several of your songs have been nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah. Haven't won it yet.
You haven't won it yet, but would you like to win one?
It would be cute.
It'd be okay.
It'd be all right. I wouldn't be mad at it.
And then you've also written music for films.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I could go into a whole lot more, but we want to not make it too long. Now you're living in Arnhem, the Netherlands, and we're sitting in your beautiful garden.
Yeah.
And your family, you have a husband and beautiful kids. You still travel to the States for work consistently. So now we're going to delve into what's happening, but also how it all started.
Okay.
We have this show called Rijman is Laat, and there's this character called Tante S.
Yeah.
You know Tante S?
Of course.
Okay.
I've been on Raymond's Live.
You've been on it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then you're going to know this question. You're gonna
Maybe
know
not.
it.
It was in Dutch, so at that time I didn't really know much.
Do you know Wie is je vader, wie is je moeder?
Yes,
Yeah?
I know what that question is.
You know what it is? Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's one of his signature questions.
Mhm.
So I'm going to just borrow that from him.
Okay.
Wie is je vader, wie is je moeder?
Okay. She's asking who is my father and who is my mother. My father is, I don't know who my natural father is. So my father is the man I just mentioned in Dallas. Mr. Matthews, Deacon front row, he'll fall asleep in the front row, Matthews.
Protestant church?
Baptist.
Baptist.
Southern Baptist.
Southern Baptist.
That's you have to. It's a delineation you have to make.
Mm.
So that's where I grew up, and my mom, who I also, being adopted, I never met my mom, but the mother I grew up with is Helen Matthews, and she was a nurse and a very soft-spoken, sweet, but strong woman. And I found out who my mother was, but that's a whole other thing. Now, but in the interest of like who I am and what I've become or what I am, I always say, my mother and father light is the energy that makes me who I am, and of course that encompasses my mom and dad on earth, but I'm a child of the universe, for real.
Okay, and when did you start writing? When did you know you could do that?
When I was about 10, maybe 9, 10, somewhere in there, somewhere between 9 and 11, I wrote my first song, and I wish I could remember the whole thing, but I can't. But I just remember the title was "I Am."
Yeah.
And,
I am.
Yeah, it was all about Egyptology.
Really?
Yeah.
At that age?
Yeah. And I had a kalimba, and I was like playing it on a kalimba. I was into Maurice White, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
So that was my first song. My brother laughed at me, by the way.
He did. Yeah, so I'm curious to know, what's your process when you're writing? How does new music come to you?
Sometimes it comes as I'm walking down the street. I get an idea. I like stories. My songs are mostly stories. So if I'm sitting, maybe, in a cafe outside watching people walk by, I really literally see a story in this lady walking by with a shopping cart. I can see a whole song, if I'm in the right headspace. So those kind of things are very inspiring, just being out and about. But the main thing for me, I found, is quiet. I need quiet. I need alone time. I need time to actually hear my thoughts. Without that, then, of course, my thoughts they'll be interspersed with everything else that's going on around me. And that, I've also learned, is not necessarily a bad thing. To just hear stuff around you or hear conversations around you and pick and choose things that hit you as a song or a story.
Yeah.
But I usually start with just an idea of a story or a line, an emotion, be that emotion intense sadness or crazy love or hella anger, all of those things invoke like sometimes just like a line that just hits me like a bolt in my head, and that one sentence can become a song.
It starts with one line usually.
Yeah. And sometimes that one line is actually, very rarely is that one line the title. Sometimes that one line is just like the first line of the song that sets up the song, and then I get to how do I reel it in and make it a song.
Yeah. So the topics vary, and it also has to do with what you're feeling
for sure
at the time.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about social and political issues when it comes to songwriting? Do you feel that it's an artist's job to comment on society through music?
No, I don't. I think it's because the only true art and the only true artists are those that speak to their own hearts and speak to through their own souls. And if that's not your calling, don't do it.
Yeah. So
you can only do something. The thing about the public, I was told once by an A&R person at a record label that when you write songs, you have to think about your public as like, 6th graders, so like 12-year-olds. And I thought that was insulting because that's not been my experience with people that I've met anyway. You know, millions of people, but that certainly has not been my vibe with folks. And anyway, in any event, I'm not a sixth grader, so I'm not going to try to appeal to a sixth grader. And as I grow, I see that my songs, they reflect who I am and what I see and feel and experience today.
Yeah.
You know, when I wrote Where Does Mommy Live for Moon and Scorpio Family Stand, it was a totally different place than when I wrote Lonely in a Crowded Room or Don't Bring Me Down on the Mac Diva album. And it's totally different than what I'm writing now. So in Oh Yes Daughter, these are all where I am is what I'm going to write about. I can't. Only time I can do that is if I'm writing for somebody else. Then I want to get in your headspace.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have to stay in my lane. And my lane is, I'm very conscious of socio-political, situations and world, world development or lack thereof, however you want to look at that. So those things always creep into my writing, for sure.
Yeah. One of my favorite songs by you, and in this case also The Family Stand, is The Education of Jamie. There's something in your delivery of that song, and I think I caught also in an intro you were talking about that does have to do with a social situation.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, that song, it's one of my favorite songs, a lot of people's favorite Family Stand song. I think the reason it's sort of the delivery that you're talking about, because I could feel it, not just on a level of watching someone who needs to learn something, but on my own, because I grew up upper middle class myself. I grew up there. So you could even say I was Jamie at one point in my life, and in terms of events and circumstances, I ended up teaching myself and growing, and through my growth, I realized that I had been blind to a lot of things, and once that happened, and I wanted to just eat every bit of knowledge that I possibly could eat and drink, and I wanted to I subsisted on learning for years till I figured out, okay, this is who I am, which is certainly who I am at this moment, and being in touch with that. So that song is about, that particular song is about a particular story about a young lady who grew up there and just she wasn't even interested in connecting with the souls of her origin, let's put it that way. And I think that's important for anybody in any walk or culture of life, to know where you came from. If you don't know where you came from, how the hell you gonna know where you're going? So you gotta know where you came from and be aware. Just be aware enough of it and comfortable with that to know where you're going. Yeah. That's what that song is about.
Okay. Yeah. I love it. You guys need to look that song up. It's amazing. So we're gonna go somewhere completely different. Just try to get inside of your head a little bit. If you have to pick between a long soak in the bathtub, or a beautiful glass of wine, or a massage, which one of those would you pick?
That's hardcore.
That's difficult. I know.
Well, I put it like this. Usually when I have a long soak in the bathtub, I have a glass of wine too. So I'll go with that because that's a twofer.
Yes.
That's a twofer.
That's very
and it's also because, the warmth and the water and all that stuff, and the oils, they also relax you. So it's a bit of a massage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go with that one.
Do you often relax? Do you make that a
I try to do it like a couple times a month. I don't get to do it as much as I want to. But the baths with the candles and all, and my glass of wine, I try to do it at least a couple times a month.
Because you're a mom, and
Absolutely.
You're an international artist. You have certain responsibilities. I mean, I think even one of those areas alone is like a
it can
job
be
in itself.
It is.
I imagine that if you do have that time to relax, that it's a conscious choice to relax.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because you know what? At the end of the day, you just want to go down. also needed and enjoyable, but you're not really conscious. So I want to enjoy the relaxation.
Yeah.
And the bath can do that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's also another creative space. You know, I can kind of feel some things because I can listen to myself. And my kids know I'm in the bath. Don't bother me.
Mommy's out.
Mommy out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So when it comes to relaxing, you travel a lot. Do you have a certain ritual that when you're on tour or you're abroad that helps you to feel at home, even though you may be in a hotel room or in a different space?
I think a lot of that is about what I surround myself with. I carry me my favorite incense and a couple of candles and my music naturally, things that make me feel more me. You know, just playing them in my space. And I do also necessarily like hotels. I don't hate them, but I don't necessarily dig them. So I do Airbnbs wherever I go. So I choose a place whose environment will help me, you know, reflect the way I need to while I'm there.
Yeah.
So if I need to go write, if I'm doing shows or whatever I need to do, I try to choose a space that's going to be conducive to that energy, that particular energy. And usually, I've actually, you know, been pretty successful with that, you know, getting spots that make me feel good.
Yeah.
And help me do what I need to do for the trip. But I carry some stuff with me.
Yeah.
You know. But you know, the reality at the end of the day, you know, it got to come from you.
Yeah.
You know? So
Definitely.
you know, because no matter where you go, there you are, right?
Yeah.
So,
That's very true. Now, in all of your travels and in your, like I have to say it again, incredibly impressive career, you've worked with the best. You belong to that league, the best. I mean, I was reading about what Shaka Khan has to say about you as an artist and as a friend. It's powerful.
it is.
Maybe it's putting you on the spot a little bit, but
Oh dear.
could you name one of your favorite collaborations so far? One of your favorite music collaborations?
I mean, I'm probably easy because I need to. I have to say the Curtis Mayfield thing because of the space he was in and what his directive was at that moment. You know, was to do a duet with one of the newer up and coming singers. I was done Family Stand.
Yeah.
And this was my first solo album. And he, you know, he had a choice. He had a choice, you know, like they gave him, because he didn't know, you know. So they gave him choices. I believe they gave him Angie Stone, Erykah Badu, me, maybe somebody else. I don't know the other person. And the fact that he chose me at that, you know, juncture was very validating, because this is somebody who's not just his voice, obviously, but you know, his whole musicality, his delivery, his orchestration, his production, his socio-political, you know, awareness. They spoke to me. It meant so much to me that he felt something for me. Because again, it wasn't about just my voice. He just felt something that we wanted to vibe with. So I think that would be my favorite collaboration, just because of that. And plus, he was just a sweetheart. He was just so sweet, you know. And
Yeah.
I actually leaned on him often afterwards, you know, going through stuff, and we would talk on the phone, and he was very supportive. He was just put it mildly, he was very supportive.
Wow. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. We're flying through these questions.
Look at that. See?
Yeah. All right. So, imagine it's the end of your life.
Oh.
And everything that you ever said or recorded, wrote, everything has been wiped away, swept away. There's nothing left. Yeah. What are 3 things that you would say that you would want to leave behind? 3 life lessons or just insights that you would want to leave behind. You have 3 beautiful daughters. but also, you know, the whole world. What would you want your legacy to be?
Well, I think, if I have to come up with this moment, they may sound cliche, is a problem. But I think one of them certainly um, is to be yourself, because, everybody else is taken anyway. So you may as well just be who you are. And I think that, as simple as that sounds, it's difficult to get that through to a very young person. And until you've lived and experienced trying to fit in here and there and go through trying to be a good or nice
And to know what it's like to not
know
be
what
yourself.
it's nice and to experience the consequences of that.
Yeah.
Until you have that, it's hard to really understand how freaking important that is. Okay.
Yes.
And so that'll be certainly one. And the other one I think is one of my favorite sayings, which has been attributed to Anais Nin, which is we see things not as they are, but as we are. So, and I tell my kids that, I try to break it down to a 6-year-old. It's interesting, but that's when I told them, baby is 6. But you see things not as they are, but as you are. So if I go out if I wake up in the morning and go, oh, I feel crappy. Oh, it's gonna be a crappy day. You know what? You're gonna have a crappy day.
Have a crappy day.
You know what?
Yes.
If you meet somebody and judge them because of what you already thought about that type of person, the kind of person that looks like that, has that skin, or wears that kind of thing, that's how you're going to experience that person. If you go through your life saying, oh my God, I ain't shit, never was shit, never going to be shit, you know what? You ain't never going to be shit. So you create your experiences by what you believe. And words are action, and words have power, and words are energy. So the words not even that just come out of your mouth, but the words that are in your head, they're going to make your reality. So you tell yourself, I'm gorgeous, I'm beautiful, inside and out, more importantly, inside. And that will be your experience in life. You're going to go out there and you're going to experience life as a beautiful energy. And that beautiful energy is reflective. It's going to reflect back. You're going to get beauty from the outside, and it'll be coming from, because it's coming from within you. So within is always more important than without.
Yeah.
I do try to teach my kids that. I think that's so important. And the third thing I think, I think what I said before, is that everywhere you go, there you are. And these all these things really connect, because it really is about being aware of your soul's journey and your soul's purpose. And everybody's is different. So if you're trying to emulate something you've seen, or somebody that you've seen, or something that you think is so fabulous, you're going to waste a lot of freaking time, baby. Because that's her journey. That's his journey. That's not your journey. Your journey is your journey, and you have to seek that out. You have to realize what that is, and you can only realize that by trial and error. So my last thing would be, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Let them mistakes happen, baby. Mistakes are beautiful. Sometimes the mistakes are the most beautiful things that come out, because then from those places you have to find a way. Like if you trip, say you walking by, you're a young girl, you walking by a group of dudes, you see one guy there that you think is fine as hell, oh my God, you trying to be cute. If you stumble, you better stumble real cute. You come out of that stumble like a diva. I've fallen on stage. I fell on stage at a festival in London. There was 50,000 people. I tripped over a cable and fell flat on my ass. I laid down there and sang that song like that's what I was supposed to do, because that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? It's like, listen. Beyonce says, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. I'm like, when life gives you lemons, great. I mean, like, free lemons, right?
We love lemons. We love lemons.
Lemons are great for you.
It's awesome.
Deal with what you got.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to round off. I really love that I get a chance to do this, because you're my friend, but you're also someone that I admire immensely, and for many reasons.
Nice person. Yes.
So I think it's good to let people know, what are you doing at the moment? What is something to look out for?
Well, I'm very, very excited is not the right word. I don't even know what the right word is. At the risk of sounding like a fanboy, I'm working with a producer, Mark Batson, that, you know what I'm going to call everybody else out, so I won't only sound like a fanboy. So Leon Rimes, Anthony Hamilton, Alicia Keys, all have been tweeting about how phenomenal this guy is in the studio to work with, and that's who I'm working with right now. And it's an incredible experience. I've worked with him before. I've known him for over 20 years. He did Knocked Up and Locked Down, Conversations with G, and Slipping in the Darkness on previous albums of mine. But this is the first project that we're doing as a full album together, and it'll be released as Sandra St. and Mark Batson, collaboration. And it's just, the experience is totally different in how we're writing together. He's getting me out of my own comfort zone with creating. I tell you, I like to be by myself. He's like, no, we're going to write this together in this room. Really? Okay. So, but he can get me to that place where it happens. And he's so good at it that what we're coming up with is just really blowing my mind. So I'm very happy with that record. So far, we've written more than enough songs. We're in the recording phase of it now. And that's what I'm hoping to have out before the end of this year. The latest beginning of next year, but it'll more than likely be the end of this year. Sandra St. Mark Batson collaboration.
Wow. I am excited about that.
Yeah,
so if people want to know more about that and keep an eye on it, they can go to sandrastVictor.com. .com, y'all.
Yeah, I don't update that much, but I'm on Facebook.
Yeah, you're really good with social media, so people can find you.
I'm
there.
okay with I do not a lot better. I'm okay with. I'm pretty I'm pretty there. But Facebook, I have 2 pages on Facebook. But you follow me there, you basically see stuff probably before my website. So, and then on Instagram, Solstice718.
Solstice718.
Yeah. Okay. 718 is the area code of Brooklyn, by the way.
See, we didn't even go into. You used to live in New York, and we could talk for hours and hours. But we're gonna leave it here, and we're gonna, I think, enjoy the sunshine a little bit.
Yes, you guys need to have some wine. You're gonna catch up.
Yeah, we've got important things to do, people.
Please.
So, Sandra, once again, thank you so much.
Anytime.
Yeah, I'm out of words, but you know how I feel. So, yeah. So we will see you next time. Thank you for watching and enjoy the day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.